Test. Hello, everyone. Hello, vlog. Hello, chat. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Woohoo! This is gonna be our first ever episode of Yap City. Woohoo! And this is basically going to be a YouTube channel where I share all the things I learned about life with you. And I hope to inspire you all to do a bunch of fun things, really whatever you want. So basically, I'll break it down for you. I'm going to share with you all how to pay for college, how to apply for colleges, how to find scholarships, because in context, I just graduated in May, and I am from New Mexico, and I came all the way to Oahu for college, and so I just would like to share how that experience went, how I paid for that, job opportunities that came in between, exchange programs, and how those also help lower the cost of school as well. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. Excuse the lighting, the wind. Oh my gosh. I'm going to share like a bunch of videos of me trying to walk around. Here we are. We're at this cutie park. Look, let me show you. Nice chill day. Chill, peaceful day. Oh, look, and we got some overcast, so not as much sun. Quite sunny, nice day today. It's like 11, almost noon, so that time of the day. But I'm so happy you are all here. Fix my hair again. Quite windy. This is why I was gonna walk to the beach, but the walk to there is like 37 minutes, and I was like, okay, if I walk for 37 minutes and I get there and it's windy and cold, then I'm gonna be like, Yap City, presented by and me. This is going to be somewhat of like a podcast / random vlog channel where I'm going to sit here and I'm going to share with you some things I have learned about life, some things I have learned about money, finances, fashion. Because right now I'm 22 years old. 22 years old, period. And I just graduated with my bachelor's in business administration in May, in marketing. And I had an interesting journey to get there. Like, I started with no money. I'm from Taos, New Mexico, which, if you know, is low-key 50th in state of education. Well, it used to be. I don't know if it's 2025. I don't know where they're at. I'll check and let you know. But they used to be last for education and no money. So I just want to really inspire people to have a start. And I want to share with you all resources that I wish were shared to me sooner, or that I wish more people just knew about. Like, I have some really great scholarship websites I'm going to link and share with you all, because like the Scholarship Owl, all of those websites are so bad. Like, they literally just will spam your email with BS. If you know, you know. And so with this YouTube channel, my goals and purpose and hope is just to share with you all my life, inspire you all to live yours, and yes, comment, like, subscribe, and also share with me what you would like to see, what you would like to hear from me, because I can talk, and I can talk off topic, and I can get lost. So honestly, yeah, message me, hit me up, ask me questions anytime. But I have had some people, some sweeties from people I went to high school with, like younger than me, New Mexico, asking me like what I'm doing, how I ended up there. And it was quite the journey. I don't even know. Like, when I left Taos, when I left New Mexico, I went to college thinking I'm going to be a doctor, period. I'm going to be, oops, sorry, we cut out. But yeah, so I just went to college. Like, if you come from a poverty background, or you come from a background of low income, of scarcity, trauma, whatever. But long story short, when you come from these backgrounds, you grow up in fear, thinking that there's limited ways that you can make money. So you go to college thinking like, oh, if I'm not a lawyer or a doctor, or like if I don't get my PhD degree, like I'm not going to make any money, like I'm not going to be able to take care of myself. But as like we've all seen with TikTok, with COVID, with everything, like college just taught me that there's many ways that you can make money, and that as individuals, that the value that we all carry is a lot, and that we need to understand that, because then we can use that to gain value not only in money but in lives, in our friendships, in our relationships. When we work together with people Like, all of my corporate internships taught me, and all of my jobs taught me that, like, if you have all kinds of people working together, all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of minds, all kinds of people with common, agreed upon value exchanges, then, like, things can happen. Like, corporations can make billions. Like, people can, like, scientists can come up with cures for diseases. You know what I mean? Like, but it takes more than one person. Like, and I think that's what college and life, like, it's so, like, taught, like, oh, be the best, be the valedictorian, be the number one, become the CEO, make the most money more than everybody. But really, like, no, 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 no. Like, if you go in life valuing money and valuing wealth and your materialistic things and what you own versus, I don't know, versus a lot of things, then I don't know, I feel like you just have a harder life, you know? Maybe later it catches up to you and then you're in your 50s crashing out versus, like, at least I'm in my 22. I'm in my 22-year-olds crashing out. And it's nice because I feel like sometimes I have conversation with my friends' moms, and they're like 40s, 50s. And I feel like we're still processing the same things. So that's what I want to talk with you about on here, on this channel, is how I am processing my peace, how I've dealt, like, made peace in life, how I've like, I've had lots of money at some points. I've been in the bougiest of bars with some random CEOs. And then also at some points, I've been homeless. I've been homeless. I've had zero money. When you're at the top and you have that slight, I guess you could call it a void. I don't know. Everybody can call it something different. Their discomfort, their everything that people, their darkness that they don't talk about in life. Everybody has that. And so when you're at the top, that's still there. You know what I mean? When you're at the top, it's still there. So unless you deal with all of these things when you have no money, no nothing, but how do you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't know what I want to do for work. Like, I've had great corporate job offers, but it's just like, I don't know what I would like to do. So, long story short, enough yap, enough mumble, enough. And if you know me, like, in high school, I used to preach like mental health was bullshit. Like, I used to walk around thinking like if you heard me sophomore year, like, sorry, this is so terrible. I'd be like, oh my gosh, people who like do suicide are like they're so like selfish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their families love them and stuff. But it's just like I was always so drowned in my distractions that I never actually had time to process my own mental health. That's why I always just thought, like, oh, it's in your head, it's in your head, it's in your head. It's all bullshit. But it's just like, until you go through something and you're put in a position where you have to really get out of there, where you have to live there for a while, where you have to, like, see your cycles over and over again, then you're like, oh. So it's like, that's another thing I learned. It's like life, you're just watching yourself, like, become a hypocrite over and over again. Like, I feel like high school Abby versus Abby now, we've gone through so much and we're doing all of the things that we said we would never do, or we're doing all of the things that we said were irresponsible or stupid, or, you know what I mean? And so then that's the thing about life, is all of us have our ideas of right and wrong, like, based on our values, based on our beliefs, like, so that's why, like, it's really hard to question what's right or wrong. And it's really hard to go into the world without a stable foundation, because then you're going to be easily influenced by anything thrown in your direction. Anything that someone says, oh, that's wrong. Like, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's wrong. Because you yourself, you don't really know. You know what I mean? And it's like when you're a child, when you're children, how you're raised is so important. Like, I don't read a lot. I'm gonna say, but in college, like, I took psychology, sociology, like, all of these as prereqs, which is things that you guys will also do if you go to college. And those also open your mind a lot about other, like, topics and, like, the human mind and the human race, and honestly, all of us together. Like, that's really what college does, is it just helps you process, like, and cancel out the idea of an individual, like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom, when I was so young, like really young, she hit me in the face with the, life is not fair. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh my gosh, what a miserable woman, like, at such a young age. But then as I got older and things were not going my way, I started to think the same, like, oh, like, life is not fair, you know what I mean? but it's just like, no, it's fair on its own terms for everyone. And once you can step back, understand the way you're perceiving things, understand the way everyone else is perceiving things, then you can process things better. Then you can make conscious decisions better for you to like do better in your own life, really mind your own business. Like when I went away out of state, like what I was thinking like, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna hate me because I'm a tourist. Like I'm such a like foreigner. Like I'm not from here. Nobody's like people aren't gonna respect me. But when I got here, I just realized everybody just minds their own business. So once you pick that up and you learn how to live in an environment peacefully, like sustainable. Look up that word, sustainability. I took a class called sustainability and it's basically like environmental sustainability. So it's like preserving the world and the environment for future generations. So it's thinking our kids, like your kids' kids, your grandkids, you know what I mean? That's sustainable. It's creating a routine, a life right now that'll be sustainable for your kids to live in a world that is actually here and not all like just disintegrated and polluted and all kinds of crazy. So that's why it's very important. But sustainable can also be used in the terms of like a daily routine for us. So like as I learned like getting out of college, I'm like, okay, how can I develop like a sustainable, healthy routine for me to go to work every day and not hate it, for me to get some exercise in and not hate it, for me to be able to like have some fun with my friends but not like drown in that lifestyle of alcohol and drinking and smoke. You know what I mean? How can I enjoy that but not abuse that? You know what I mean? Like it's really the balance of everything because the sustainable lifestyle matters. You know what I mean? Because you have to think, I'm setting myself up for my future self. Like I would always think in high school, like I'm doing everything now so future Abby's life can be easier. Like I'll set out my clothes tonight so tomorrow Abby won't have to worry about it. I'll apply for these scholarships today so that way Abby won't have to worry about it. And then like so on and so on, you know what I mean? And so that's also like goes for right now out of college. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't have any goals set. I don't have anything right now set and I just feel, you know, it's easy to feel lost when you haven't done that. And then to do that, it's easy to feel like you're lying to yourself if you don't know who you truly are. So, a lot to take in the 8 minutes. But with that, you know, like all of that talk, oh, can you hear? Oh, look at the doggies. But like with all of that being said, you know, like it's important to understand like the journey and yourself and the patience with yourself. And the first time I ever heard this was like only a year ago. But my friend, she told me, give yourself grace. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, in my whole life, have I ever done that? Have I ever not been the hardest on myself? Have I ever cheered on myself harder than I would cheer on those who I loved around me? You know what I mean? So deep, so much, so random. But it's just like, you don't really process these things until you're really like you're alone, you're isolated, and or you go through a loss or a trauma, and then you have to question, like, what is this life we're living? Like, blah, blah, blah. So, those are some things we're going to talk about here. On top of, we're going to talk about, like, yeah, just some approaches of things, internships. I really enjoyed, so a year or two ago, I was studying, well, I graduated, my major was focused in luxury and fashion marketing. So, I went into that route thinking, okay, my major was biology. I was going to be a doctor. And then when I switched, I was actually going to drop out because then, you know, you realize college isn't for everyone. But then, you know, you can't also quit. You can't quit things in life. You cannot quit. You cannot quit. And then going in, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I already committed. I already took out the loans. I already got the scholarships. I already moved. Like I'm living in a dorm. You know what I mean? Like that was just not an option. So when you eliminate that as an option, then you can look at every possible road that is. So then I immediately go on to like Google and I'm doing like job research and I'm like, okay, what are like degrees, bachelor degrees that have the highest job outlooks? Like what'll get me a degree? First off, like turning point. Like what'll get me a degree and what will get me like and see what is going to be an like easy road out of college. That's where I was at. You know what I mean? It was just like I didn't see purpose, I didn't see motivation. And we can talk more. Like I can do another video if you guys want to talk more about why I switched from STEM to biology. I have my own personal reasons. I have like a list, you know what I mean? But I also have the list of reasons why I could have persevered, why I could have pursued that. But really, you know what I mean? It all comes back to the idea of lying to yourself and the idea that I was thinking doctor because I was thinking money. You know what I mean? But as I've gotten to the point where it's like, I'll ghost work, call out, quit a job, like, not good, like, don't do that. Don't do these things. Like, don't do these things. But it's just like, I realized my internal motivator was so deep that it wasn't even like money. You know what I mean? And if it's not money, then survival, your survival needs, like, you know what I mean? You don't need the money to be happy. You don't need it to get by. Like, climb the corporate ladder if that is your dreams, your passions. But if it's burdening you, you'll finish at the top of that corporate ladder. You'll finish with all that money, and then you'll finish with like maybe a bottle of liquor in your hand because you have all kinds of unprocessed like questions, all kinds of unfulfillment. Because let me tell you, like during my graduation, I looked forward to that for 4 years. And I literally was so sad when it came because I just wanted it to be over. Like I couldn't, like all of those working 2 jobs a day, like all of those like 21 credits. Because when you change from a biology major to a business major, I had to take a bunch more credits, like, which we can for sure talk more about in another video because it's a lot to unbag. But, like, you know, you have to stack up on the credits and long story short, yes, it's just better to, and I feel like that's why us as Gen Z, as a society, like, that's another video I'm gonna do, is Gen Z, and why we're so important, I learned, because we have a lot of advancement. Like, within our lifetime, there's been 16 generations of iPhones, artificial intelligence, and the COVID, COVID, it literally changed the lives of millions. It changed the way of lives for everybody. So that's why it's like for a millennial to sit here and like sit back and say this is the right or wrong way to do something. That's like, no, you know what I mean? Because it's like they don't understand. And it all goes back to living life together and understanding each other, understanding how we're perceiving these things, understanding like really everything. And so with that 14 minutes of yap, that's my intro. Yes, 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 yes. Let me share some more things I like. I love purses. I do ceramics. I love to paint. I'm going to share my job experiences at Starbucks, Coach, Bath and Body Works, McDonald's. And I worked at one small business that I'll also share that experience with y'all. And yes, because all of these things can help each other. Like, you know what I mean? If you're my age and you feel trapped for money, just go out and maybe try that job. Say if you hate that job, then you can realize, oh, let me try something else in like a different job. Or if you're in that job and you see like, oh, that's a more fun role, talk to your manager. How can I do that? You know what I mean? How can I get to that? It's all about looking at life as like a continuous road and just trying the things that come, diving into the opportunities, and then looking at it as like when that opportunity like blooms, there will be more roads, more things for you to do. And you know, you only learn as you go. Like you look back and you realize like, oh, this was like you only like can look back and be like, oh, you know. But going forward, you know, at the time you're like, oh, I fucked up. Like, oh, life sucks. Like this is hard. But it's just like only looking back can you realize like, oh, that taught me something. Oh, that was a blessing, not like torture. Like every job that told me no, instead of looking at it like a, oh no, it's the end of the world, nothing is for me, I looked at it like a, there's lots of people in the world and there's millions of places hiring all the time. Like if you look at it from another perspective, managers have a hard time finding people who want to work. You know what I mean? So as employers, just Look at it like a percentage system. I'm going to tell you this as a piece of advice because for scholarships, for job apps, for internship apps, this is my approach. Think of 100%. If you submit 100 scholarship applications where you tried your best, you didn't half-ass, you didn't shortcut, you tried your best, you did 100 scholarship applications, maybe out of that 100%, you can get one. You can get 1%. You know what I mean? And you have to just keep thinking of life like that. 100%, you'll get the 1%. And you just keep building off that 1%, keep building off of that opportunity that comes. Like when I applied for scholarships, I applied for some that I wasn't even eligible for because in the back of my mind, I was delusional enough to be like, oh, like if nobody applies, I'll win. Like I think I applied for this one for Jewish people because I was just like, oh, if nobody applies, I'll win. But I'm like not Jewish even in the slightest. So it's like really like giving it your all, just trying, just really trying. And also not looking at the world like it's against you, looking at it like it's there to help you, kind of like a stair. Like, so instead of like so instead of like that, like you ever see that, like life is uphill, downhill. Nah, look at it like a stair. Like, yes, you can fall down the stairs. You can roll down that hill. You can mess up a lot of things. And I'm going to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, I've had some good we'll just talk about it and just learn. You just learn from my experience. I learned from yours. And that's what I learned. Like seeing all of these amazing podcasts, all of these TED Talks, all of these like older women YouTube videos. Like you only learn from other people. You only think to do things from other people. Ideas are built off other ideas. Like the Golden Gate Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, like everything that is built and that's lit and stuff. You have to think back to how that process started. It was just a thought in someone's mind. Like, it was a thought in someone's mind. Like, oh, let's build a bridge this big. And someone says, oh, yeah, let's make it red. And then someone else will say, like, oh, yeah, and let's name it Golden Gate Bridge. And name our and then put it on the San Francisco, or is it San Francisco? Oh, no, Golden Gate Warriors jerseys. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Who knows? But everything has a deeper starting point. You know what I mean? It's not I started it all and I ended it all. It's how can my idea build on yours? How can our ideas build on other ideas as a society? We need to look at life as a society. Because, say, like, when things get ugly, like think of COVID, you know what I mean? You're locked up in your house all day. Who could you call? Your close friends and family. Even them, though, you couldn't see. You know what I mean? Like, and then, but as a society, like, everybody is scared. Everybody is really scared. And so we're moving through life day to day off of scarcity, off of fear, instead of the idea of, okay, how can we just make things better for each other? Like, instead of being afraid of climate change, how can we make climate change better? You know what I mean? Instead of being afraid of these economy crises, how can we try to make them better? And then that's where people start saying things and then taking things wrong or making impulsive acts based off of their anger, their fears, their beliefs towards whatever subject is at hand or towards whatever is the deeper thing, you know what I mean? Or the deeper distraction. And that's what I learned a lot of life is. Everybody's just constantly distracting yourself. So your ability to mind your own business, take care of yourself, that's going to get you far. Like I remember in high school when I was going to the gym at 5 a.m., I was thinking, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to go. I don't really do this. But someone called me fat in 7th grade. And then I'm thinking, oh, but nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, this is such a like terrible thing, but it's like nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you if you stay fat and sad and miserable. When you were crying yourself to sleep because someone hurt your feelings, who was there checking on you, right? Like, and that's where it's also like it goes back to your family support system, whether you have that or you don't, or how you're raised, like whether you're spoiled or you had to work for what you have. You know what I mean? It's all understanding each other, all understanding that all of these things are all very different. We are all very different, but at the end of the day, also understanding that we are all very same. And our purposes, our life here together, like, I'm not going to say it's all same because people are not going to believe that. People are going to have different things to say, but it's just like, understanding. You react better. You communicate better. You're more patient. You're not being rude at the supermarket. You're not being nasty as a cashier. You know what I mean? Because you're just going on with your life in peace, content, understanding. That's like, I think that's the point I've been trying to get at for 21 minutes. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just started moving. Like, when I started for senior year, I started going to the gym every morning. I started applying for scholarships. I started saving up my money because I thought in the back of my mind, like, nobody cares what happens to me. And that's really sad. It's sad to think like that. But once you accept that, you process that, but flip that and think, I care what happens to me. I exist. Like, I am going to be here for myself. Like, I'm going to go to the gym for myself. I'm going to I'm going to apply for all of these scholarships, even though I'm exhausted and tired, because I deserve a better life. You know what I mean? I always told myself, I'm going to create a beautiful life for myself. And understanding that that's in your control, understanding that, yes, like, I'm a firm believer of choices and consequences, and everybody in life makes their choices. But some people, like, are stuck in the thought, or they're stuck in their life circumstances that their choices are dependent on other people, or other people, how they think about them. Or, for example, this one is a hard one, like, family, because it's really hard. Family is just complicated. That's what I learned. Like, with all the tea, like with all my mom, like growing up, like with my own family, and then moving out and seeing all of these other people and their families and the dependency people have on their families, and how that also affects like their limited like beliefs for themselves. You know what I mean? But some people, they're like, you don't understand. Like, I have babies to feed. Like, I have to stay here. I have to. Like, that's when you understand. Like, you know what I mean? But that's where it's one thing to sit and complain about your choices, because you can't be, because then, you're a self-choosing victim. You know what I mean? You have to understand your choices. You have to accept your choices, and then you can healthy move forward. You won't sit there and you won't complain every day. You won't be the friend group that's constantly complaining, constantly, I'm tired, I'm the Debbie Downer of the group. You know what I mean? Once you like just accept the inner burdens you have, you know what I mean? And a lot of life is projection. A lot of life is projection. Like, I didn't realize that too until I got older. Like, things you take out on your friends, on your family, that's all from internal, like, emotions, from things you've been through. Like, for example, that's why elementary school, like, if you ever see kids getting in violent fights or anything, they always question the behavior at the home. Because of sociology, psychology, behavior is learned. It is a disease. Like, that's why if you say fuck, all of a sudden your toddler's walking around saying fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and you think that behavior changes? Like, you think, like, all of a sudden when you're 22, 33 years old, you're not human anymore? No, like, you still are gonna, like, pick up these behaviors as you go through life. That's why it's so important to understand yourself. Understand what you like, understand what you want, understand your own morals, your own values. Because once you start switching up those on people, once you start getting everything mixed up, then, it's really hard. And that's where life is hard for everyone. And the mental health journey, it is hard. Like, I've had so many kind, loving, amazing people who have been there for me, and they have been supportive and great. And I've noticed, like, with the cycles, finding the peace, you are the chaos. You know what I mean? It's like your inability to meet these people halfway. It's, why are you getting a lip tattoo and moving all over the place and maxing out your credit cards? You know what I mean? Like, all of those reckless behaviors are, like, just unsettled inner identity. But I'm not saying don't go out and don't do those things. Like, I don't, like, in my life, I've only regretted certain things where I know people cared for me and I know their intentions were well and I didn't meet them halfway. And I know if the roles were reversed, I would have been like, fuck you, be like, you're fake, like, cut off, right, like, real quick, you know what I mean? But it's just like, you can't do that, you know what I mean? Or you can, and you can move on with your life, and that's your coping mechanism, and that's your boundary, and that's where you stand. But you have to understand that, you know what I mean? Because then if you're switching that up in your life as you go along, you're stressing out. It's just crazy. It's crazy out here. And yes, oh my gosh, I want to talk about culture shock, homesicknessness, like all that stuff. Like, because it's all deeply connected too to your inner peace, all going back to your mindset. The idea that I'm creating this life, not life is happening to me. When I moved away for college, or actually when I was in senior year of high school, one of my literature teachers, English literature teachers, I actually hated that class T, and he was rude to me at the time, and I got in trouble for academic dishonesty at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be so honest. Like, you only live and you learn. Like, at the time, like, I was sending my homework to my friends, and it was crazy, and like, and but long story short, like that teacher, like he really like gave me a second chance. He's just like, you're a great writer. He's like, you submitted all the work since the beginning of the semester. Like, this isn't your behavior. Because it's serious. Like, it's a serious offense. Like, if you get written up for that and it goes on your record, when you apply for colleges, they ask that. Have you ever, like, been evicted for, written up for academic dishonesty? You know what I mean? Because it's like, because in colleges, we'll see that and they will think, like, oh, but you know what I mean? But the teacher at the time, like, I really had to change my perspective on him. Because at the time, I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, like what a, like he got me in trouble, but really no, he gave me a chance. He like, yes, he dropped my grade to a really bad grade, like a D passing, but it was just like, consequences of my decision. He didn't do that to me. I did that to myself. You know what I mean? You can only learn these things going forward. At the time, I was sobbing on the phone, talking about how much I like hated him. But now, as a 22-year-old, I'm sitting here thinking, thank you. Thank you so much for everything you ever did to help me. Like, and then on top of that too, like he gave me like this like task. It was like one of those things where you have to like write many things. But it was like I had to write like how I felt about that, how it made me feel about myself. Like, and in that class too, we also did a thing called mood meter. And it was basically where you track how you're feeling, how you're doing. And that is just such a good skill to transfer to your adult life. Understanding like how you're feeling that way, why you're feeling that way. Because when you get older, you realize like a lot of these crazy people in the streets are acting out of emotion that they haven't learned to deal with. Like homeless people, they're like lost up here in their mental illness that some people, maybe it's out of their control, you know what I mean? Some people, like life, the universe, God, everything is very confusing. And as much as it is like easy to be delusional, it is easy to have those doubts. But have you heard that saying, the double-edged sword life? You can't worry about the positive and the negative at the same time. Because then it's a very confusing, hard life. You have to either pick one lifestyle. You have to choose the high road, or if you choose to live in your low road for a while, then you can only decide what to build up from there. You can only decide, okay, if nothing is the point, then what's the point? And then you really learn about yourself. And it's just, maybe I've said that so many times. Maybe I've said that so many times, but you really only learn. But, and then going back to the professor, going back to the mood meter, I would always write that every day I'm going to create a beautiful life for myself, no matter what it takes. Because when you grow up in a poverty area, when you grow up with, like, your traumas, your family situations, your abuse, you grow up, like, usually in these limited mindsets thinking, like, oh, I can't do these things. Like, if my mom can't help me, I can't do these things. But it's just like, say, for example, in my case, like, I also grew up thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, my own blood is against me due to my own things. Like, you know what I mean? I had my own traumas to deal with, like, and like, I just really, like, felt very scared. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't go into the world like that because then you project that onto everybody you meet, onto every experience you're going to endure. Like, but if you go into the world thinking, it's their first time experiencing life too. Let me learn from them. Let me actually ask them about how their day is. What are they thinking about in this moment? Do you guys know what mindfulness is? I took a mindfulness class as a freshman to fill an elective credit that my advisor told me, oh yeah, you can take anything you want. It doesn't matter. 2 years later, that's a lie. Like, so I'll also teach you guys how to check your course schedule so that way you won't have to rely so heavily on academic advisors because it's really scary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all my friends, like, even my mom sometimes, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, I had to pay so much money. I had to take classes I didn't want to take because they rely so heavily on their financial advisors. You know what I mean? So, yes, take the knowledge of these people, but still make moves of your own. You know what I mean? Like, relying on someone to save you, relying on anybody to come save you, is just, it's gonna hurt you in the end. And, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've just learned, like, give it a chance. I want to inspire everyone. Like, inspire, like, you guys got this. Like, we all got this. And on top of that, I enjoy to make so fun, cute videos. As a marketing major, I really enjoyed more because there's two sides of marketing, analytical and creative. So, like, analytical is more numbers, like forecasting, like predicting, like, oh, I want to make like 10K revenue for my company, like in this year. Like, what are some strategies that we could do to get our brand out there, to get people buying? Because, for example, marketing, this isn't going to be another video. Cut. This is going to be another video because I like business and life as a whole. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And so, with that being said, this is a raw video of 32 minutes, but it doesn't need to be 32 minutes long. So, I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut out a lot of the yap. But I'm just wanted to say thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for, if you know me, if we're friends and I haven't hit you up in a long time, I still love you. If you're new here and you are going through similar things, if you are just out there on the YouTube right now and you stumbled on my video, you know what? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great day. And I hope you know that you are so loved. And if you don't feel like it now, just know that's in you. That it's in you. It's in you. You know what I mean? So if you don't feel like it right now, it will come again. And knowing that, understanding that is beautiful. And to all of my friends from New Mexico to Oahu to New York, Japan, China, Barcelona, all of the above. You all have changed my life. You all have inspired me. You all have taught me things about, not about myself, but about the way I think about things. My own mom. I used to, like, if you know, like me and my mom, we had whatever childhood that was, you know what I mean? But it's just like my own little sister hit me with the, you cannot blame your parents forever. You know what I mean? When I'm ghosting work, when I'm in my binge smoking eras, you know what I mean? I can't sit there and blame my mom for my behavior that I'm choosing to do today, you know? So, yes, thank you all so much. Like, excuse the yap, like all over the place. I can't believe I forgot my notebook today, but this will be our intro video. I'm gonna have a bunch of next series videos coming up. The next series videos will be more informative, more short, more straight to the point, and then I'll also have some more yappy dive psychology. Because, for example, in college, I also took like philosophy. Philosophy is a great course, as well as capitalism. Do you know what that is? That is like studying the American dream. That's studying the idea of the American dream and how people feel about that. And like, once you understand those things and you make peace with what, at the end of the day, you still want, you know, then you can create a good life. Then you can make peace. Then you can, from that peace, you can start to make art. You can start to make more life. You can start to make more beauty. And as a Gen Z, as like someone who's been around, like, I've worked like with people who's been in corporations for 20, 30 years. And I've also worked with people who are like now 18, 19. You know what I mean? It's all about creating a nice, safe, peaceful environment for everybody to feel free to express themselves. Like, I do understand there's a lot of fear in the world. There's a lot of, oh, no one deserves to know me. Like, my vibration, like, my presence is enough. I don't need to open my mouth to take up space. Like, if you feel like that, amazing. Like, but if you want to open your mouth in a room full of people and you feel confident and happy in yourself to do so, you do that too. You know what I mean? Or if you want to do that and in the back of your mind you're telling yourself, oh, like this is like, I'm embarrassed. Like, this is like, oh, I don't like how I look or how I speak or how I sound. Like, you're going to be put in a point in your life when that won't matter. Like, you're going to be put in a point in your life when you're not going to be able to maybe afford to feed yourself, and you're going to be like, your hair will be falling out and your skin will be nice, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, no, I need that chicken for my hair and my skin to be nice and shiny. You know what I mean? You won't look at it like a calorie deficit. You won't look at it like a, oh, like, I need to be skinny, or I hate how I look. You know what I mean? Or say someone who's been obese their whole life. You know what I mean? And then, like, that's all they know is like the food is a calorie. You know, like, there's so many perspectives, and you just have to be open to the support, the understanding of everybody's backgrounds, their emotions, even high emotion people. Like, I'm not saying to let someone come at you and disrespect you to your face, but I'm saying to listen to them and control your reaction, because that's really your power. Because, for example, you disrespecting them back, that lowers your vibrations, that lowers your energy. And then maybe in the future, you will maybe be thinking, oh, did they deserve that? Did I deserve that? Do I regret what I said? Like, the word, the mouth is the most powerful tool, T, in your ability to speak to others. Like, in all of my college years, like, I used to preach that communication is key, because really it is. Like, your ability to speak to others and how, like, they can understand you. Because perception too, like, say for example, a girl who's jealous of you, like, if you say like, oh, cute skirt, she might turn around and be like, oh, she just said my skirt is cute, that bitch, like, she's a liar, like, why is she looking at me, like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why, but that's where it's like, you're not going to take offense to that. You're just going to go on with your day, but you're going to understand that they're up here struggling too. And that's where it's like, bullying, like, as a society, you know what I mean? Like, we can, like, little kids, children, couples in relationships, we can all work together to be like raise healthier, more mental stable child. You know what I mean? But also too, it's hard because in some cases there are some people who have such sheltered life, and then they go and they do, like, school shooting. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot be raised with it all. Like, there's no right or wrong way to live life, and acceptance. And yeah, but with that, we're pushing 40 minutes now, and thank you so much. Yes, I'm so happy to share everything with you all. Let me know. I'm gonna do a poll, or I'm gonna drop a little comment box. Please comment what kind of videos you'd like to see. Please follow me on Instagram. Follow me and message me on Instagram as well. If you guys like the shorts, let me know. I can make some shorts too. But I personally just did the long video form because I tried to do the TikTok. And there's no way I can talk about everything I want and get to the point in 30 seconds. Like, it has to be, I need at least about 30 minutes. 30 minutes, yeah. 39 for this case, for the intro. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed my video. Excuse my lack of eye contact. I'm just here looking at this park. Here, I'll, like, enjoy the scenery with me before we go. Thank you all for sharing your time with me. Thank you all for sharing your life, your peace. I wish you all more light, more life, happiness, all of the above. Amen. And I hope to see you all again on the next episode of Yap City.